Hi guys, it's Bree. Welcome to another episode of Stepping Into Your Femininity. And for episode 3, we will be talking about working on your mindset. So let's get into it.
Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus?
So in case you have not been tuned into the series, for episode 1, we talked about becoming your best self and some tips on how to do that. And for episode 2, we touched on imposter syndrome, ways to get over it, and tips and tricks just to work through it on daily life. So for episode 3, which aligns a lot with the imposter syndrome episode and building on episode 1, positive self-talk and how to have a positive mindset. A quick disclaimer before we dive into our tips. I'm in no way a mental health professional. If you are in need of some mental health guidance, please seek out professional advice. Just use this as some tips and tricks. No means do you have to follow everything I'm saying or agree with everything I'm saying, but this is just my perspective and I thought it would be great to touch on. So, how are we going to think we're that girl? Which ways are we going to already hype ourselves up inside before we go out in the real world? Positive self-talk, affirmations, those are ways that you can start already shifting your mindset before you even go and interact with other people. When you already seek out positivity in your own life and your mindset, you will see a shift. Positive things will begin happening in real life because why would it not, you know? So in order to become your best self, you already have to believe that you're that girl, okay? You already have to be telling yourself in your head, believing in yourself that you are that girl. You are already your best self. Fake it until you make it, honestly. Because a mindset plays a very big role on just how you feel about yourself, your self-confidence, your self-image, how you portray yourself out in the world. People can pick up on a vibe, okay? We always pick up on different vibes of people, just how they talk daily life. If you are around somebody that talks negative all the time, you might not have the best impression of them. So you don't want to be that negative Nancy. Yes, things are not always sunshine and rainbows. That is just life. But I think you'll be able to get through a lot of the problems you might be having or hard times if you just already have that positive outlook on things and not always optimistic. You know, be real with your feelings and what's going on. But if you're talking yourself through this, like, okay, this might be a hard time, but you're always going to get through it, and that's part of changing your mindset. So for tip number 1, we are going to talk about affirmations. You can find lots and lots and lots, millions and trillions of thousands, maybe not trillions, of videos on YouTube itself on affirmations. Just sit and repeat, have it on repeat. They have videos that are like 8 hours long, 3 hours long, 1 hour, however much you need. You can wake up to affirmations. Just have your daily affirmation videos saved in your watch list. When you're going to sleep, you can fall asleep to affirmations. I'm that girl. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. You already feel that while you're going to sleep, while you're waking up. If you just repeat something over and over and over again, it becomes habit. So affirmations is my first tip. This is something I use right now. I've been using this probably for about, I'll say like 2 years. When I was in college, I was in a very hard major. I'm an engineer. So there was a lot of times when I touched on this in the imposter syndrome video, I didn't always feel like my best self. But I somehow discovered affirmations. I think maybe TikTok, TikTok teaches us a lot. And because of that, I would just sit and listen to them like every night. I low-key became obsessed with it. So I was doing affirmations every night, telling myself like, you got it. You are an A+ student. You're gonna pass this class. You're gonna graduate. And what do you know? I did it. Just by telling myself that over and over and over again. I mean, maybe if I didn't, I might have still been able to do that outcome, but I do believe that it was heavily influenced by the affirmations. So tip number 1, affirmations. Write them down on your wall, write them down in your journal, whatever. Speak highly of yourself, making out that self-work on the inside. This is such a great way to get started. So for tip number 2, we're going to talk about podcasts, which kind of is similar to affirmations, but with podcasts, I think they teach you just a lot of self-actualization, things you might not know about yourself, things you might not know about the world, different perspective on things. So podcasts definitely are something that I incorporated into my daily life. I would say right now I haven't been listening to them as much, not on the self-growth side. I do listen to other podcasts that are more like for entertainment, but on the self-growth side, just sitting down, instead of listening to music for that day, if you're doing some work, just listen to a podcast. They have professionals come in and talk about things, scientifically proven things like that you might not know. You can have fun facts to bring up with your friends. But podcasts are very similar to affirmations. Turn them on and they just give you some more tips and tricks, kind of similar to watching a video like this, but you're just listening. The podcasts I'm currently listening to are The Black Girl Bravado. Check them out. 10 out of 10. They always drop very good episodes, I think, for the girls, especially for Black women, and things that you can definitely resonate with, things that you're going through. I think they're in their 30s, so even as a girl in their 20s, it's good to hear something that they went through and know that you're not alone. And for another podcast, it is called Do the Work. You can find these on Apple, Spotify. And Do the Work is very similar to Black Girl Bravado, not more like Black focuses for any women, anybody, but she always brings on professionals to talk about things, and she talks about her experience. I believe she's in her 30s as well. So it's a lot to learn from podcasts. Tune in. So that is tip number 2, podcast. For tip number 3, I will always talk about journaling. I even have my journal right here, okay? I have a paper one. I even was journaling in my iPad before this, like a year ago. It is so good to just look back at your journal entries and know that you overcame stuff, or look back and remember how you felt when you hit this milestone or this big achievement. Like, it's just so fun to me. And actually putting the pen to the paper is better than writing on the iPad. Like, you can kind of see the emotion in the handwriting. Like, it's just a more real experience, I think. And journaling can do so much. It's very similar to therapy, I feel like. Or instead of, you know, how you have friends and you have to talk through stuff, you can talk through your emotions in a journal before you even talk to somebody else. Or if it's something embarrassing that you don't want to talk about publicly, just put it in your journal, girl. And I'm telling you, you will look back and be like, what was I talking about? I don't even remember that. But when you wrote it, it was weighing on you real heavy, okay? But you got over that. You put your pen to the paper. And that definitely helps with your mindset. It helps regulate your emotions for real, because you might want to snap on somebody that day. But if you go journal, think about it a little, you're like, okay, I'm cool, I'm over it. Like, that's my perspective on journaling and how I use it. You can journal daily, weekly. I try to journal every Sunday, but I have been busy on the Sundays recently, and I kind of been jumping around, journaling more often. Like, things have been happening, I'm just journaling about them on a day-to-day basis. Definitely journaling can help change your mindset, like I said, regulate your emotions, and just help you evolve as a person, talk through things, be mature about it. And if there's a situation, you can journal about it, chill, and then readdress it with the person. So for number 3, journaling, definitely. And then I will do this as number 4. I was going to include it with the journaling as well. I want to talk about scripting. So this is kind of similar to journaling, but a little different as well. It's a type of manifestation technique, and I picked up on this on TikTok, I think probably like a year or 2 ago, because I was doing it with school, like I mentioned, with my affirmations, nighttime, daytime, whenever. And you have your journal, because you can do it in a journal, or I do it on my iPad. I think of topics that, or goals that I have. Like, say I had a goal to win the lottery. I would have my scripting notebook or my journal, and I would write, I won the lottery in July 2024. I won the lottery in July 2024. Though it has not happened, I'm speaking as if it did. And when I'm writing it down, I'm going through those emotions of how I would feel when it happens. And I write it down 3 times. I know there's another method called 369. Do what you want, but I think it helps a lot. Like, something I've been doing for the last 2 years as well is scripting my like memoir for the year. So I did it for 2023, and I also wrote one for 2024. Like a vision board, but putting it on paper. What happened that year? What did you do? What goals did you accomplish? And you're writing it in present tense, like, I live in my penthouse apartment. It has such big windows. I love waking up to my Porsche truck. Even if you don't have this yet, and those are goals that you're working towards, when you're scripting it, I promise, since it's manifestation, and I think when you write it out a lot, pen to paper, things start to become reality. I just posted a TikTok not too long ago about how my vision board is literally manifesting in front of me. Things I have on my vision board. This year I literally printed it out and I have it posted next to my desk, so I look at it a lot. It's the wallpaper of my phone, just habit. And those things are really happening in real life. Scripting about it, writing down. I have a great group of friends. I'm in a healthy relationship, and those things are happening in real life. So for number 4, scripting, definitely do some research into it and see if that's something for you. But it definitely has been working on my mindset and how I view things and how I work towards my goals. Okay, and then for our last tip, it might be more for the Christian girlies. Not sure if everybody is Christian is watching this, but if you are, number 5 is prayer. Prayer works. At the end of the day, you can do all of these things I just listed. Journal, affirmations, scripting, but nothing is better than literally giving your anxiety, your doubts to God. Just praying and asking Him to help you, to guide you through this hard time, help you get through the doubts, help you work through the anxiety. Give it to Him and release it. Like literally, give everything to God and just release it in prayer. When you're down bad, there's nobody else there but Him. He's the only person that's writing your story, knows how it's gonna happen, knows that you're gonna make it through the hard time. So when you're just having those real conversations with God, sitting down, praying, being grateful, gratitude always, okay? It can go such a long way. And when things are starting to manifest, even if you wrote it out, God was right there with you when you manifested that. He already knew it was gonna happen. He's just working through it, confirming that, yes, that is the purpose I have for you. So I always, no matter what, any goal I reach, like yesterday I reached a big goal that I've been writing about. First thing I did was literally thank God. Because without him pushing me and helping me have good discernment, I don't think I would have. I mean, I could have reached that point, like I said, for other things. You could have made those goals happen, but it would have been so much work if it was not also having Him on your side. So, prayer. That is tip number 5. So, those are all of our tips on how to work on your mindset and shift it into a more positive light. Again, we talked about affirmations, manifesting in a way of scripting, journaling, podcasts, and prayer. Those are the 5 tips I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this and start to incorporate this in your daily life. Like I said, it's really been helping me get through just daily life, sitting down, putting my pen to my paper, journaling, working through those things, talking myself up. It's showing, like, I feel like I'm literally radiating self-confidence now. I was not this confident weeks ago, months ago. To get on here, talk on the camera, like, I wrote about it. I manifested about it. I prayed about it. I'm here in front of y'all, physically showing you how these things work. Once you have a positive outlook on life and just take things head on, speak positive over all things, even when you're in hard times, I promise, you will get through life. You will get through those hard times and you will become your most confident and best version of yourself. I promise. We are on this journey to becoming our best woman, okay? Stepping Into Our Femininity, episode 3. Make sure to check out our other 2 episodes on imposter syndrome and becoming your best woman. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching as always, and stay tuned for more to come. Bye.